Hey guys, my name is Jason. I'm the founder of Distress Loan Advisors. If you want to book a case evaluation, there is a link in the description below. Wanted to do a quick video because somebody in the comment section yesterday asked a question, and I've gotten this a couple of times. I actually made a video about this like 6 months ago, but I'll do it again. The question is, what is a charge-off and what does that mean? And so here's what you need to know about charge-offs. There's sort of a technical explanation and then a practical, what does it mean to you explanation. The technical definition of a charge-off is basically, think of it this way. When a bank makes a loan, they have financial statements, right? They have to report all of the aspects of their financial situation. And so when a lender makes a loan, that is actually an asset that shows up on their balance sheet. And when a lender collects interest on that loan, the interest is revenue for them. And so as people make payments, the lender basically, every time there's a payment, some is applied to principal, some is applied to interest. And you've seen amortization tables where at the beginning, a large portion of it is interest and a small portion is principal. And then as you pay your loan off, that ratio reverses where you end up paying more principal at the end and less interest. And so every time you make a payment, the principal portion reduces what's on the balance sheet for the lender, and the interest goes towards interest income. Now, what happens when a borrower doesn't pay a loan back? Well, at some point, the bank has to make the decision that realistically, they're not going to get paid back. And so the accounting rules essentially say, you can't report this loan as an asset on your balance sheet if reasonably you don't expect it to get paid back. And likewise, you can't recognize this as interest income. Basically, you have to report any collections to just go towards the reduction of principal. And so when they charge it off, they're literally taking it off their balance sheet because put it this way, if somebody owed you $10 million and you're reporting that as an asset on your balance sheet, think about how that looks. You've got a $10 million asset. Let's say that guy who owes you $10 million doesn't make his payment for years and years and years. At some point, it is not right from an accounting standpoint to report that asset because it's not going to be repaid. It's not going to generate interest. And so what do? You charge it off. You remove it from your books. And so that's essentially what the SBA is doing when they charge off a loan that is past due. And so if you get a notification that your loan has been charged off, essentially the SBA said this is not collectible. We can no longer show this on our books as an asset. And so as part of that, what goes along with the charge off is them saying, all right, we're done. We'll send a final demand letter, and if they don't pay, we're going to refer it over to the Treasury. The important thing to remember here is just because it's charged off doesn't mean it's forgiven. So charge off does not mean forgiveness. Charge off means how they're handling it from their side. You still owe the money, or your entity still owes the money, and they have the right to try to collect it. So don't mistake charge off for, well, they're just going to forget about it now, because that's not what it means. Practically speaking, when it comes to EIDL loans, and to a lesser extent regular SBA loans, once it's charged off and referred to the Treasury, it changes how these things are serviced. So while it's a performing loan, the SBA will service it. If you have questions, you call them. If there's a problem, like with the application of your payment, some sort of servicing question, you direct it to the SBA. Once they charge off the loan, they turn over the servicing to the Treasury, which means your 30-year term is out the window, your 3.75 interest rate is out the window. It just basically becomes you owe them whatever the balance was plus 28%, and they're going to try to collect it, and they can negotiate whatever terms they want in terms of repayment. They're not bound by what your original loan agreement was at that point. So that's an explanation of what a charge-off is, and I think the important thing to note here is it doesn't mean forgiveness, it doesn't mean they're going to stop collecting it, but from a practical standpoint, if your loan is showing as charged off in the portal for your EIDL loan, chances are it's going to end up at the U.S. Treasury. And so, as we've learned, once these things are showing as charged off, people at the SBA are not able to tell you when it will go to Treasury. So if you're showing charge off and you call them and say, well, can I make a payment to bring it current? Some people are telling you, sure, go ahead and do it. But I've seen several people who have made those payments and still end up at Treasury. More recently, I talked to someone yesterday who said, yeah, the guy at the SBA essentially said, I can't tell you if it's going to be at the Treasury or not, so you can make the payment, but I can't guarantee that we'll be able to return you to regular servicing. So if you want to continue making your payments, if you owe less than $100,000, don't forget at that amnesty date in early March. And if you owe more than that, you need to at least keep it relatively current. I would say no more than one payment behind, because then you do risk it being charged off and it goes to Treasury and then it spins out of control. So that's it. That is the summary and the answer to the question of what exactly is a charge-off. So thanks for checking in, and we'll see you on the next one. And I appreciate all the comments on all the videos that I've been putting out lately. I really, I've never really been big on social media, but I feel very engaged with you guys. And the number of people who call me and email me and tell me that these videos are really helpful, it motivates me to keep going. So thank you. I appreciate you guys as much as I think a lot of you appreciate this information. And so if you do appreciate it, I'm going to start plugging this. Please share, like, subscribe, share it on social media, mention my name when people bring it up. That's all very helpful to me. So that's it. We'll see you on the next one.